Across the state of Tennessee, school districts now have the power to call their teachers essential workers.
And what that exactly means is if the superintendent agrees, teachers could ignore the isolation guidance and be required to come to work even if they've been exposed to COVID-19.
Tonight, Sam Luther spoke to some Bradley County parents who say that puts their child at risk. He joins us live with the story. Sam.
Well, Abby, Latricia, here in Bradley County is one of the districts that's taken that next step into implementing that process. Last week, the school board enacted a policy that would allow for their director of schools here in Bradley County to allow teachers that have been exposed to COVID-19 to go into the classrooms. So tonight, we took a look at the question, which is more important, having enough teachers inside the school buildings to keep the school running or keeping students out of the potential harm's way of a teacher who's been exposed to COVID-19?
It's better to be safe than sorry, in my opinion, when it comes to our children, especially.
If they've not tested positive, I see no reason that they can't go to work.
Mixed feelings from Bradley County parents. Should a teacher who's been exposed to COVID-19 but doesn't show symptoms be back in the classroom before the typical isolation period is over? Governor Bill Lee says it's up to each individual school district. In a letter to district leaders, the state admits that, quote, isolation and quarantine due to COVID-19 will have a disruptive effect on school operations, but warns that a critical infrastructure designation may present a greater opportunity for COVID-19 transmission within schools.
They're basically washing their hands of it, but on the other hand, they're also putting in some additional rules. J.C.
Bowman with the Professional Educators of Tennessee used to teach in Bradley County. He has his concerns about teachers working after being exposed to COVID, concerns we took to Vanderbilt infectious disease specialist Dr. David Aronoff.
By now, most of the spread that's happening is through silent spread. It's transmission events that are happening from people that don't know that they're infected.
But Dr. Aronoff says with the proper precautions like strict social distancing, masks, and hand washing, there is a chance it can be done safely, a chance parent Sabrina Haddock isn't willing to take.
It's not okay for our children to be forced into a classroom with a teacher who could potentially pass on this virus to them.
Now, we still haven't heard yet from the Bradley County Director of Schools on whether or not she'll actually implement that power given to her by the state and school board on whether or not teachers will be able to return to the classroom even if they've been exposed to COVID-19. Ultimately, that decision lies on her hands. Live tonight from Bradley County, I'm Sam Luther, News Channel 9.
Sam, thank you. And now again, in Bradley County, if teachers do have symptoms or if they test positive, they can't work in the classroom. This is only for those employees who have been exposed but are still asymptomatic. Hamilton County says they will not be making that distinction with their teachers.